Hey, welcome back to Mr. P Helps with Precal. This is Unit 1, Topic 4. Lesson number 3. We're still in adding and subtracting rational expressions. We're just going to make them a little bit more complicated in this video. We've got to start off with a warm-up, which is practicing what we did in the last video. So we have common denominators already, so we know the denominator is over 7. 2x minus x makes x, and 5 minus, there is no constant here, is just 5. And there's your answer. This time, if I'm going to move myself up here, we have x plus 5 is the denominator, common denominator. We have 2x minus x makes x, and 3 minus negative 3 makes 6. Can't simplify this anymore, so that is it. Next one, so we have denominators that aren't the same, so the least common multiple in this case, so the least common denominator is 3x times x. So I'm going to multiply both of these by 3x and both of this side by x because the LCD here is 3x squared. So 3x squared is going to be the denominator, and 2 times x is 2x plus 4 times 3x is 12x. Now I can simplify that again by getting 14x over 3x squared. Just combining these like terms. And on the next one, I'm going to put this 7 over 1. So really, I'm going to have to multiply by x minus 9 on both of these because x minus 9 is the common denominator. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times negative 9 is negative 63. And then minus, which I could then move over to here if I really want to, which just means minus 4 again. Those can be simplified, so 7x minus 67 over x minus 9. And this cannot be factorable because I believe 7 and 67 don't have any common factors. 7 does not go into 67, and it's prime, so there's nothing else they can also be divided by. So that's your answer. All right, getting right into it. It's just a bunch of examples. I might run out of time here because these do take some time. I'm going to get through as many as I possibly can, and hopefully I won't run out of my 15-minute time limit. So we have two differences. You're probably looking at these two and thinking, hey, they're the same, a minus b and b minus a. That's like saying 2 minus 3 and 3 minus 2 are the same thing. They are not the same thing. So I'm going to multiply this side by a minus b and multiply this side by b minus a. All right, so I'm going to have to move myself again. I'm going to need quite a bit of room here. So a squared times b minus a. So I'm going to actually solve that out. So that's a squared b minus a squared times a. Oh, I'm sorry, a cubed. It's not going to let me just go back, so I'm going to have to actually erase. There we go. So that was a cubed. So I distributed, sorry, a squared times b is a squared b minus a squared times another a is a cubed. All right, that's the left-hand side, and then the right-hand side, so I'm going to change and move that over here. So that's minus a times b squared, and plus, that would be b cubed, because a negative times a negative is a positive, b cubed. And then put that over a minus b times b minus a. All right, and then I'm going to take a look at this. In fact, it's going to take me some time here, but I'm going to pause. All right, so as long as I've looked at it, I have not been able to find any way of factoring this top to make it so that you can reduce the bottom. So it looks like that's going to be it. I think I'm just going to change this when we do this in class, change it to a minus b right here, so that way it is going to have some way of crossing out. Just moving forward, so we have, I'm going to put this over 1. Notice that the common denominator is going to be x plus 1. Don't need to do anything over here. Multiply both of these by x plus 1. Anything over itself is the same thing. So 2 times x plus 1 is going to give me 2x plus 2 over x plus 1. And then over here, so we're going to add that to x minus 3. That can be simplified. 2x plus another x makes 3x, and 2 minus 3 makes negative 1. And there you go. All right, question number 3. So this can be simplified. This can be x plus y times x minus y. So it's differences of squares. I know you're used to doing that with numbers, but it doesn't have to be numbers in this case. So therefore, when you look at the two denominators, x plus y is a common factor, and x minus y needs to be multiplied in this one. So this is x minus y times x minus y. All right, so that's going to give me a denominator of x plus y times x minus y. And then on the top, we have 4xy plus x minus y squared. Now, the x minus y is going to cancel out with x minus, which is going to cancel out with the squared. So that's going to leave me with x plus y on bottom and 4xy times x minus y on top, which I could then simplify by distributing here times this. So that's going to give me 4x squared y minus 4xy squared over x plus y. Would be the exact same thing as this. Actually, I'm saying I'm going to leave it right there. So the next one, I'm going to factor on bottom and top first. So this looks like it's going to be x minus 7 and x plus 3. And on top, 13 isn't factorable, so there's nothing I can do up here for the time being. But when I look at the denominators, I see x minus 7 in both of them, and I'm multiply it by x plus 3 times x plus 3. All right, so that gives me x plus 3 times x minus 2 times x minus 2, and that happens to be minus this x squared plus 4x plus 13, and that's all over x minus 7 times x plus 3. All right, so it looks like the next thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to FOIL this. I probably should have just done that to begin with. So that's going to be x squared, what's that? Outers is going to be negative 2x, inners is going to be 3x, and last is going to be negative 6. Now I can combine like terms between here, so the x squareds cancel each other out. Negative 2x plus 3x makes x. X minus 4x makes negative 3x on top. And then negative 6 minus 13 makes negative 19. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Negative 19. All over x minus 7 times x plus 3. And it looks like that's going to be our answer because there's nowhere I can factor on top any further. All right. Kind of some crazy questions here. Going to the last page here. I think I'm going to make it. Plenty of time. This can be factored into x plus 3 times x plus 1. This is x minus 3 times x plus 3. Differences of squares. You could reduce that. You could reduce right now. You could simplify if they were the same, but these aren't the same, and neither of these. So it looks like we're going to have to continue as is. X plus 3 times x minus 3 is our common denominator times x plus 1. X plus 1 is also there. Okay, so over here it needs to be multiplied by x minus 3. It's the only thing that's missing. And over here, it's got to also multiply by x plus 1. All right, so then the denominators become the same as there. Okay, so what are we left with? We're left with x minus 3 times x plus 4. So that's going to be x squared. Outer's negative 4, inner's negative 3x makes negative 7x, and then last is plus 12. And then if I multiply these, that's going to give me x squared, outer's 1, inner's negative 1. So those cancel, and then negative 1 at the end. All right, so if I combine those like terms, x squared plus another x squared makes 2x squareds. Negative 7 plus 12 makes, I'm sorry, no, done with these. I have to cross them off. Minus 7x and 12 minus 1 makes 11. All right, over x plus 3 times x minus 3 times x plus 1. Now, I look at the top and ask myself, can this still be factored? 2 times 11 is 22. The factors of 22 would be 1 and 22, 2 and 11. Not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, and it looks like we're done. So do any of these factors add up to negative 7? No, they do not. So it looks like this is our solution. All right, last one, common denominator. So this is x plus 2 times x minus 2. So I have to multiply this by x minus 2. And this has to be multiplied by x plus 2 times x minus 2. All right, so that's going to give me 3 times x plus 2 times x minus 2. Added to this. All right, so it looks like I'm going to have to actually, so this is the same thing as x squared minus 4. That's going to make this a little bit easier. So that's 3x squared minus 12. X plus 2 times x minus 2. Okay, so then add the next one, which is x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. And then the last piece, which is subtract. I'm going to change that to addition here. Well, it looks like we don't have to do anything, so it's just minus 2. Now I can clean this up a little bit. So 3x squared plus another one makes 4x squared. Done with these two terms, minus 2x. Done with that term, and minus 14. Put that over x plus 2 times x minus 2. And then last but not least, I got to see, can I simplify this? Well, all three of these terms can all be divided by 2. I'm going to work over here. So 2 times 2x squared minus x minus 7. It's going to make it a little bit easier. And then I'm going to ask myself, can this be factored again? So 2 times negative 7 is negative 14, which is 2 or 7. That's not it. 1 and 14 is not it. It's got to add up to negative 1. 3 doesn't go in. Neither does 4, neither does 5, neither does 6, neither does 7. Oh, well, 7 does, but it's 2. So it looks like this is it. This is as simplified as you're going to get. There's your answer. All right, and I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to the next video. Have a great day.